Specifically right now, I want to use these. Let's get those. Let's make a soup with them. This is our journey. Welcome to the Betancourt's homestead. Let's start using some of the stuff. Oh, I did not want to do that. Okay, let's start using some of the stuff that is in this basket. Specifically right now, I want to use these. Let's get those. Let's make a soup with them because, I have the dinner rolls over there. Soup sounds good. Let's cut them up and start making a soup. I got some, we could also add this to our soup. And we could add these to our soup. These are freeze-dried corn and peas. Let's see. No. Yeah, so let's do that. Let's get this basket off the counter eventually. Let me get this. First, I'm going to peel them, then we're going to chop them into little squares. So I chopped up only one. The other one I started chopping up, and it's not good. It's not good. I grew them last year, so let's just say that. So then I chopped up half of an onion, and I'm just going to throw that in there. I'm not sure how this soup is going to be. I literally do not know. So let's just put all the corn and peas that I freeze-dried right in there. And let's see what else we've got here. We're going to put in some garlic. And you know what? I'm going to put in some of that pumpkin puree just to boost up the squash taste a little bit. And it's also in my basket. So let's just add some of that. It's not going to hurt. Let's make sure it's pumpkin puree. Yep, pumpkin puree. Just going to dump some in. Now, I do need some liquid, so I'm going to go get some chicken broth. Every time, this is 2 years old, so every time I go to open a can, I always check and make sure it's sealed. And we always listen for the slurp. That's what I want to hear, baby. That's what I want to hear. Now we're cooking with chicken broth. And I'm just going to dump it in. I have no clue. I could be making something really gross and disgusting. I have no. I'm going to put a couple tablespoons of coconut sugar just to add some sweetness to it. Let's do some cinnamon and nutmeg while we're at it. So far it smells really good, but I still don't know what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to put a lid on it and cook it. I'm going to do high for 3 hours. Then I'm going to come back, maybe 2 hours, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to add some more stuff to it. There you go. Okay, the timer is up. I'm going to take the lid off. I'm trying to figure, do I want to puree it? Hush, in the cheap seats. Do I want to puree this and then add chicken in the pasta, or do I want to just add the chicken in the pasta and then I'm going to add some coconut milk because I have some on. What do you think? What am I saying? You're not going to be able to answer this by the time I need to use it. Maybe I'll puree part of it. Let's look at it. This is what it looks like. Kind of looks like it's pureeing itself. I think I'm going to add the pasta and the chicken and just go for it. And then just before I serve it, I'll add the coconut milk. And this chicken that I will be using is 7 years old. No, not 7. 7 years old. It's 7 years old. We're going to listen for the pop and then we're going to smell it. Using my spoon trick. I heard the pop. Lid looks good. It looks good. I'm going for it. My new chicken bucket. The chickens love the broth part that comes off. So we're just going to give that to them. And the rest, and half of this is going to go in there. Then I'm going to have to figure out what to use with the other half. It's like always a game. There's always this continuous game of use what you've got. Pasta's going in. Another jar done. Yay! And half of this chicken is going in. It smells really, really good. I don't even know what I would call this. This is what making soup is like. You just put in whatever you have. My grandfather used to call it the kitchen, everything but the kitchen sink soup. There. That's good. Now we're going to stir that, put the lid on it, and cook it for, what, another hour? Half an hour? Whatever. I'll check it in half an hour. I'm not worried about it. I have another container. And these these have actually real vanilla beans, and they still look like, you know, when vanilla beans go bad, they still look really good. I'm just, I think I'm gonna throw them in the freezer. That way I can just pull them out and use them when I want to. And they won't, well, they haven't gone bad yet. Oh, I should probably make vanilla extract with them, considering there's a shortage on vanilla beans this year from another crop failure. My 30 minutes is up and I want to show you what it looks like. I want to see what it looks like. It smells heavenly and it looks really good. Look at that. Oh, guess what we're having for lunch tomorrow? Looks so good, I forgot to add the coconut milk. So when I freeze liquids, I usually freeze them in a quart Ziploc bag, and the reason I do that is because I can bang, like you saw, and do this. There. Then I can put the rest of this back in, and we can stir that into the soup, and it'll melt because it's like hot. So. Melt, Olaf! Melt! Melt, Olaf! Okay, so while we wait for Olaf to melt, I'm gonna wash the rest of my dishes and then I'll be done in the kitchen for the day. I have spent all day in the kitchen. Well, I'm not. I have to wait for the yogurt to finish. But there you go. Okay, it's almost all melted. There's a little tiny chunk. Oh, maybe it's all melted. It's time to try it. I technically have eaten all of my food for the day, but I do want to try just a little bit of it to see what I think of it. It is going to be very hot, so we're going to let it cool down for a minute. Now, remember, the corn and the peas, they were freeze-dried. They taste exactly as if they were fresh. The chicken was 7 years old. Tastes exactly like it was canned yesterday. Here's some peas, piece of squash. I'm excited about lunch tomorrow. Pasta's amazing. So there you go. If you don't know how to make soup, that is exactly how you make soup. Seasonings, spices make the whole thing a whole depth level. So all it was chicken, 4 cups of chicken broth, no water, 4 cups of chicken broth, the 1 acorn squash that I peeled and diced up, and then half of an onion, the container of freeze-dried corn and peas thrown in at the very beginning, nutmeg, cinnamon, some sugar, coconut sugar, which you could definitely use just brown sugar, and at the end, I let it on high for 2.5 hours, and then at the last half of an hour, I put in the pasta, and then at the very last 5 minutes, I put in a chunk of frozen coconut milk. If you had fresh coconut milk, it would have been so much faster. But it's delicious, and I'm ready to have dinner tomorrow. I think I probably left something else out, but watch the video and you'll catch it all. Now you know what I know.